What is up, TCT community? What is up, guys? We are back with another live stream. Today, I got left alone by myself. Cry, cry. But Wyckoff Insider was very busy. Let me send the link, share with the people inside of the Discord. I hope you guys had an amazing day so far. Um, Announcements. Let's share the link and then let's just jump straight into it. You can enjoy the things that we have on the chart. We are live. Okay, so we're all good to go. Wyckoff Insider busy making market maker moves, literally, bro. But guys, the markets have been correcting today as well. You know, typically after such an aggressive move towards the downside, we can expect normally some rangy price action, and we can go up and down inside of that range. Um, so we're gonna talk about Doge for a moment, about the short setup that we took on Sunday actually, and then we're gonna jump into some altcoins. I wanna give my opinion real quick about Bitcoin's macro prediction because I was watching some other guys also in the BB stream with Donnie talking about the potential of um, higher targets instead of following steady diminishing returns over time. So I want to give my opinion on that as well, and then we can do some altcoin suggestions for you guys. And then yesterday we cooked for more than 2.5 hours, and I am currently getting a call. I'm sorry, I cannot answer. Um, but yesterday we cooked for 2.5 hours. Now I do have to go to the gym on time because literally I could not finish my workout properly. So we're just gonna jump straight into it. And what you can see on my chart is the Doge chart. Okay, and we're seeing a beautiful Model 1 TCT distribution that we were pre-planning, bro, weeks in advance. Initially we were talking about a potential Model 2 that turned out to be a Model 1, and I'm very confident that that will eventually hit its target. We could maybe get a local reaccumulation that shoots us back up, mitigate some supply before lower, but I am pretty convinced that we're gonna visit that range low and potentially even some more selling pressure coming into some key POIs that we can look for swing longs. But I want you guys to ask yourself this, okay? Because obviously you are now in my stream, and I'm expecting the people in my stream to be very well educated, or at least they're trying to educate themselves in a proper way. And when educating yourself, there has to be a selective group of people that you follow on socials, because there's a difference between people that provide quality educational posts and people that just farm engagement. And using meme tickers saying breakout soon, in my honest opinion, that's just for views. Okay, it brings zero value to anyone. Because let's say Doge did break out. Okay, let's say Doge did break out. You can see right here, Crypto Wizard saying Doge breakout soon, in my honest opinion, right before we dump down more than 20%. But this post in general, Doge breakout soon, in my honest opinion. What if we did break out? What did this chart, what did this post bring from a value perspective? Because he's not giving an entry opportunity because you're entering in the upper section of the range for a potential breakout. So he's not giving you an entry opportunity from a leverage position. He's not giving you an entry opportunity from a spot position because you're entering at 0.44 after Doge pumped 500%, adding tens of billions of dollars market cap in size. So the post has zero value. Zero. It actually has negative value because there are people that listen to these influencers and they leverage long because they don't know better. Okay? So even if the post ended up being right, it had zero value because you're not giving them a proper entry from a leveraged or from a spot position. So the only benefit of the post is negative benefit, which is no benefit. It's a waste of a post. It's just to get 200,000 views because Doge ticker is booming. Right? So when you're trying to educate yourself, there are a selective group of people that actually provide educational content. And oftentimes that content is boring. Okay? Because it's real educational content and it shouldn't be exciting. So it's mostly the accounts with not the 500,000 followers, not the 200,000 followers that provide great value. So pay attention to the people that you follow because it can mess with your mind when you're just starting out in these markets. If you see enough posts of Doge breakout soon, Doge $1 incoming, volatility, blah 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 blah, you name it, high chance you eventually are going to give in. Because what most people do, most people come to these markets without an unbiased opinion. Most people come to the markets with an already biased opinion, and they will just look for the things that confirm their bias. I'm telling you, this happens all the time, and not just in trading. People already have an opinion, and when they look for information, they just filter the information so it aligns with their vision. Right? So when you already have a biased opinion, which is what most people have, and then you come to the markets and then you see these posts, you're only going to be putting importance on these posts. You're not going to watch me make a video on Monday for 13 minutes telling you how Doge was going to dump 20%. Like they're not watching that. They just want to see Doge breakout soon, in my honest opinion. 4 words. Doge breakout soon, in my honest opinion. Like, and obviously that's like it's not 4 words, but like 4 letters, in the end. But it's like they come to the market already having a bias. They look for the posts that confirm that bias, getting them wrecked in the long term. Okay, and that's what happens. And then someone is actually saying something extremely funny because I was checking his account to copy and paste this over, and then he changed from Doge breakout soon, in my honest opinion, to Doge held up better than most tokens. Like, these people take zero accountability for their actions. You can say, oh yeah, he had a great few calls. Oh, he doesn't have any paid services or paid courses. What is the definition of getting scammed? It's putting your trust into someone and then paying for what you thought was quality, okay? And then getting messed over because what you got wasn't quality. If you are a follower of Wiz and you put his trust in him, expecting quality from him, and then opening a position because of him, and then losing it, is you getting scammed. And yes, the person that opens up the position, it's his account. He has to take accountability. It's his responsibility. But that's the same with you paying for a course and the quality is shit. It's the exact same. You bought the course, so you deal with the crap afterwards. So if you talk about getting scammed when you paid for a course that just wasn't good, or paid for a server that wasn't good, it's the exact same if you follow one of his posts and then you long the breakout. And these are, I'm sorry, but I have to mention this because sometimes it just bothers me, okay? I lost my train of thought. I completely lost the train of thought. Okay. Get it back, Lars. Get it back. God, I had something so good to say. Okay. Bro, that thought was just gone. Okay. Maybe it comes back. Because I hate being negative, right? I'm not a negative person. But if you post these tweets that you know have zero benefit, like you can rather say, like if he makes a post and he's like, hey, I'm seeing this project, it looks decent, the chart is in a discount, fine. But this post has nothing to benefit, nothing to gain, and all to lose. So why is he doing it when he knows he has a responsibility? Okay, it just makes no sense. It makes no sense. It's literally because you get attention, you gain your following, and you benefit through project deals. That's it. That's it. Guys, I have 6,000 followers, okay? And I'm already getting some connections in the space. Believe me, the deals that you can get when you have 700,000 followers is absurd. It's absolutely absurd. And then these posts get pushed on the algorithm. Do you see the trap? Do you see the trap? These posts get pushed on the algorithm because they have the highest following and the most engagement. So the people that are new that join the space, they're not going to see my video of 30 minutes talking about how Doge is going to dump. They're not going to see that. It doesn't get pushed. The fact that you guys see my video is probably because, you followed someone who follows me, who commented under my post, or somewhere in your followed circle, through a friend of a friend and a follow of a follow, you discovered me. Most people don't discover me randomly, completely randomly. And that's the case with these type of people, okay? So he can have many great calls of injective, of tau. He had some great calls in the beginning of the cycle. But this post specifically is completely useless because he's nothing to benefit. If he is right, it doesn't matter because it wasn't a good entry from a risk to reward perspective on leverage and spot. And if it's wrong, he wrecks his followers. So how can you still follow people that have no track record? I do not understand. How can you listen to someone that has no track record? It's listening to advice on how to get in shape from a fat person that was always fat. It makes no sense. Some people here still have so many views giving their thoughts on the markets when they have never been right. And never is an overstatement, but they have never or barely predicted any pivot points. And guys, everyone can be wrong. I am not 100% right, and I will never claim to be 100% right. But if you make this post, you also should make a post saying, I'm sorry, I was wrong. No, he just makes a post about Doge held up better than the other projects, validating his idea of saying a breakout soon. Are you dumb? It makes no sense. So please, before you listen to someone, and you can do it on me, just go to my account and just scroll through my posts, see what happened and see what I said, and then what happened afterwards. Do some research. Just because I nailed this trade, you shouldn't just randomly believe everything I'm saying. Go back all the way in my account and just check for yourself. Like, you don't just invest in the project if you see one good post about the project. Before you invest in the project, you do research about the team, about the token allocation, about their roadmap, about wallets holding certain things. So why with people you don't research the people that you follow? I don't understand it, okay? So please just do some research. Because there's so many people out there that get so many views and also just people listening to them when they just haven't been right. It flabbergasts me. Okay, it surprises me. But guys, you guys are here. That means you're on the right track. Fact check me all you want. Go ahead. You're more than welcome to. Okay, but let's dive into some charts. Let's delete this. Currently still in that trade. But I want to update this for 1 second. So we're gonna delete that equilibrium of our chart, and we just have this beautiful range. Now, we still have liquidity below. Matter of fact, we have a lot of liquidity below. Okay, like you can see all these lows right here. All these lows are just bound to get taken eventually. Like they're just the most juicy liquidity lows stacking up. Like you can call these what even is this? Like quadruple lows, that are just stacking up. So sooner or later, I am expecting these lows to get taken out. The technical target of this distribution is the range low, but guys, you can always have some follow through. And when I make this post, it's not that the bull market for Doge is over, not at all. But when you go up, you should go up in a structured fashion. And what Doge was doing is we were not going up in a structured fashion. We were going up on the high time frame, like the weekly, in just one move up. Like it was just we broke structure right here back to bullish, and we just had one shot up. So if this distribution schematic completes itself, it can simply just be a higher low for a higher high on the weekly, right? Just because we have a distribution here doesn't mean that it's over. So I am expecting a pullback. The technical target is that range low. And then I had some levels I was watching for a potential higher low. So we have, this is the most local demand and the demand the most nearby right here. And obviously, guys, when I give these levels, these aren't levels that you just randomly long. These are levels that you watch. And you watch for reactions and you watch for your confirmations. But you can see right here, we had this higher low and this higher high, leaving an inefficiency, making it valid structure demand. And it also is still in that category of a range deviation. If we turn on our DL2 right here, you can see it actually falls into the range deviation area. So all that price action that can go below the range low in here can still fall into any manipulative price action below the low, and then we can have a reversal back up. So definitely the most bullish POI to hold for an immediate continuation after hitting the technical target. Okay, if we start to lose this demand, we can start talking about these different structure demand POIs right here, where in my opinion, this one is the most likely. Where if we also pull our fib from low to high, there you go. Turn on that fib levels, you can see right here, it's in between that 618 and the 705, which is an amazing place to bounce. And also if I turn on the 0.5, the 0.5 of the swing low to the swing high is actually aligning also with that green demand zone. So truly multiple POIs right here. You got three. I am not expecting this lower one to get mitigated. I'm thinking the higher one, I'm thinking the higher one. It doesn't have to be a PO3 like I've drawn here, but I'm thinking somewhere a bounce in that 0.29-ish area for a reaccumulation for higher is most likely, because this would also just be a very easy back test. Like, are we going to give people that easy back test? I would like just a continuation of that 0.5, leaving all the golden pocket people waiting, okay? But that's all targets below the low. So what I also want to do right now is check the price action inside of the range, because we did have some range deviations going on right here. There you go. So what I'm seeing right here is we're coming into that lower section of the range, and we're currently finding support in this value area low. You can see right here between the volume area low and the POC is where we're currently bouncing. And the way that we have been coming down is actually more bullish than bearish. And the reason for that is because we are leaving a trail of liquidity above us. Okay. you can see right here that all these highs are stacking up to be lower highs if you compare to the previous one, leaving this trail of liquidity. Okay, it's leaving this trail of liquidity. Right here, we have supply that can definitely bring price back down, just like that. But it could be that we get some sort of a local accumulation for a relief move up. Okay, so if we close today bearish, we also definitely confirm that daily order block right here, which is a market maker order block, because it's an order block in that pivot point from our third tap of the Model 1 distribution. Let's check what that looks like on the lower time frame. Yeah, there are two POIs. Like there's a POI here, and then you have like the unmitigated supply if you draw it right above that tiny mitigation we have here. So somewhere in here. But so definitely resistance POI is on the move up. That price could tap into and still complete the distribution. Like we can get a move up right here, and then a return to zone move down, break structure, confirm the accumulation right here, Model 2 accumulation, get a move back up, sweeping all that buy side liquidity, and then still dumping back down, completing the schematic, where this was literally just a move up to sweep more buy side liquidity, fill more short positions, and dump price back down again. And if that were to happen, I would expect a move beyond this range low, because that just means they're making that distribution go over in an extended distribution. And when you have those extended distributions where your Model 1 kind of flows into a Model 2, they tend to have some follow through. So in that case, I would expect a bigger retracement. If we just come down from here, it will all be fine. So we're going to see how this develops right here. Definitely watch this range. And if we get a local confirmation, we can always hedge our short position, because we are already in a short that has its stop loss into profit and TP1 taken. So it's a win-win either way. And we can easily take a hedge position and a hedge long, hedging our short. And then if you hit your TP1 on there, you are in a long and a short, or in other words, a schlong. Okay? So we're going to watch this closely to see how this local range develops, because guys, you'll be surprised. In these local ranges, this is where like true money can be made. You'll be surprised that in range price action, you can get crazy returns. People always think it's the crazy moves that have the best risk to rewards. They can, but oftentimes the most money is made in the local range rotation. So we're going to watch that closely and see how that develops. Obviously, we're going to translate that into Bitcoin. Okay, we're going to translate that into Bitcoin. So we talked about Bitcoin pretty in depth yesterday. And we had this range going on right here. And then obviously, some people were looking at it from a distribution perspective, but I am not really a big fan from the distribution side, because we had a PO3. Okay, so this second tab already did all the work, meaning this second tab already liquidated all of these people out of their position. And normally when you have a TCT distribution, the third tab is supposed to do all the work. Like the third tab needs to have the aggressive follow through towards the downside, not particularly the second tab. Okay, so what I am seeing right here is I am seeing a range, and then if you have to ask yourself, and you have to put yourself in the footsteps of like a market maker. Okay, if you wanted to dump price down, you had the chance to fill massive short positions up in here. Okay, because people longed the breakout. It was the first time Bitcoin hit six figures. You saw massive volume coming in on that breakout right here. Like that was the chance for them to fill massive short positions for a big reversal. And then especially once we got the back test right here, they could have added more to their shorts and they dumped price down. But they never had like a proper distribution, okay? Because we mitigated that supply, we never took that high again. You kind of had an internal distribution here on the lower time frame. But like if you want to dump price down aggressively, you cannot just have a low time frame distribution, okay? So they made price come up, it tapped supply, but instead of having like a good redistribution or just some better manipulation plays for lower, We just tapped it and we just went lower, where all these highs are now stacking up to be lower highs. And then yet again, we got that aggressive move down, which caused liquidations on our altcoins. But instead of dumping down aggressively on Bitcoin, we literally grabbed extreme liquidity from the other liquidation move down. So now you have to ask yourself, what is the true purpose of the market maker right here? Because it had the chance to fill massive positions up here, which it did, but then it didn't add that much on the reconfirmation or on the retest, giving no proper reconfirmation. And we are wicking the low not once right here, but twice. So if the market maker wanted to push price down aggressively, why would he liquidate people just to make price shoot back up? Right? You have two liquidations towards the downside, stopping everyone that was long out of their positions on not only Bitcoin, but especially altcoins, because they dumped way more aggressive. And then price recovers extremely fast. Why would he let price recover extremely fast? If the purpose was to dump price down aggressively, why not just have follow through? Why, if we have so much sell pressure showcased by that volume spike coming down, why is price not coming down? Ask yourself this actually. You have so much selling pressure coming down. Why is price not continuing down? Why is it going up? Well, price goes up if demand is greater than supply. So we have lots of selling pressure of all these liquidations, but price is going up. Who is bidding? Mr. Market Maker. There you go. Right? You see the game that they play? They use and they do it with limit orders. So they have loads and loads of limit orders. And then once they find that tipping point, boom, market push price back up. And then they make price pull back to fill the long positions. Okay. So if they wanted to dump price down, they should have just given it follow through. So I am truly not really expecting, based on the behavior that we have had on Bitcoin, with wicking that low and then grabbing the extreme liquidity on the left, I am not expecting right now to sweep all of these lows. I think that would just be too easy. Okay, I'm not expecting something like this and then a bounce. Again, this is an expectation. We trade confirmations. Okay, me saying that doesn't give you a short entry right here of any kind. Now, at the same time that I am not expecting that, we're also not seeing signs of an accumulation, or we're also not seeing signs of strength at the moment. So we're going to put that liquidity on our chart. It was simply just this first market structure low that was created that got wicked right here. Just like that. So I'm also not seeing any signs of strength, which brings us in a pretty neutral position at the moment, right here. But today we had some sort of a distribution where we grabbed that Asia high, right here, grabbed that Asia high, got that liquidity trail going on here. Your typical retail triangle breakout pattern that got reversed back down. And you can call this your range, right? This is definitely a range right now. Oh, and it's a range that I would also watch. It's not a beautiful range because we more so had a range in the upper section, and now we're finally getting some price action in the lower section. But it isn't a clearly combined defined range because we don't really have that much price action around the EQ yet. Okay, but this could be a more developed range in the future. Now, above that, we do have supply right here, which is supply that is part of the supply chain that we were watching yesterday, right here, where we rejected of this market maker order block. And that's all that we have. Obviously, there is great demand. Like I just told you, they do bid price here. So there is demand in that wick. We can call it wick demand. And we are in a pretty neutral state at the moment. We're in the pretty neutral state right here. Demand below, supply above, and we have a range. What more do you want, guys? What more do you want? It's truly that simple sometimes. So we're going to put this low on our chart. Boom. I like to call that an SFP. I'm going to put that high on my chart. And then I am expecting something new to happen here for probably higher. I am expecting higher. But we're going to see where it's going to take us, right? Definitely crazy moves on our alts, crazy liquidations across the border and or across the board. And patience is going to be rewarded. And someone asked me today in the VIP live stream, like, how do you prepare or how do you approach these liquidation events? And my answer is that, well, if there's going to be a liquidation event, I am probably in a position where the liquidation event benefits me. So in this case, it was the Doge short because we were expecting a big move towards the downside. And then with the profits that you make, obviously you can reinvest those profits into high conviction holds. And that's why it's also important, guys, if you want to trade spot, and this is purely for spot, unless you're a very advanced trader, if you have those key areas where price should bounce and where you are expecting price to bounce, even though it's 30 to 40% away from your entry at the moment or from the current price point, you can still set limit orders there. Because you can see a perfect example was actually TON. I don't have TON open, but TON right here had it was a 5-day demand zone. Yeah, look at that. So TON had a 5-day demand zone right in that pivot point where we pushed higher, backed by this Model 2 accumulation schematic. And at the moment, prior to the dump, like that was 33% away on TON, which is in the small cap, right? But you can still set a limit order there because you see what happens. Like we come in it and we like immediately recover for over 23%. So a lesson that you can take with you if you have those crazy orders or those crazy places in the chart where price, should bounce from according to your TA, then just set some limit orders there. That way you will also not be scared when, the moment of true entry happens because you already had a limit order and you're probably too late to delete it. And that's why I'm also saying it, do it from a spot trading perspective. Because if you have conviction in TON, you can never go wrong entering on extreme demand backed by a market maker Model 2 accumulation schematic from a spot perspective. Like these are like 4.9 is a great area to DCA into position later on, right? So that's definitely a lesson that you guys can learn, which is something I realized way too late. Okay, because then you see these liquidation events and you keep on not benefiting from it. Let me check the chat. Kunal, hey buddy, started watching your mentorship 3 days back. It's a gold mine. I appreciate you, brother. Could you check the dot chart? We can do some charts later on. Starting to get into the mentorship videos as well. And I absolutely love to hear this, guys. Like TA is so important, it's in my opinion the most important because even if the fundamentals are great, a project is only going to go up if demand is greater than supply. So if you see a distribution but your project is great, it's not going to go up, okay? Because supply is greater than demand. And you saw that on Caspa, right? You saw that on Caspa. Absolutely amazing fundamentals, but you have a high time frame distribution. So you're not going to go up, right? If something was going to go up because the fundamentals were great, Caspa should be in all-time highs. Guys, is he reading chat? Yes, I am, but obviously not when I'm doing TA. Yeah, and you know what's also part of human psychology, and maybe you guys haven't realized this yet. If you go to, for example, if you go to a store of watches, okay, and you see a watch that's very expensive, you would immediately assume that the watch is better, you know, just because it's more expensive. Like people would probably not want to buy a Rolex because it's 2 grand. But the fact that it's 10 grand for a decent one, then they're like, oh, I want a Rolex. So they want it because it's more expensive. And then they put more value on it because it is more expensive and less people can buy it. And you can kind of use that same logic for accounts. It's hard to achieve 700,000 followers. So if you have achieved 700,000 followers, people are like, he must be saying something right. And then they put value on the account just because it has 700,000 followers. I bet your ass if Crypto Wizard right now had 3,000 followers, he would not get any views. Right? People wouldn't care what he had to say. Just because he has 700,000, people care. Can you share a bit on how you managed the loss on GOAT from yesterday? What was your invalidation on that one? Well, I didn't enter any leverage positions on GOAT yesterday. I had 0 positions on GOAT yesterday. So on GOAT, right here, on GOAT, let's use the GOAT chart. So on GOAT, the first POI to bounce was right here. Okay, that was our first POI. And coming into that POI, we had a Model 2 accumulation schematic right here. Okay, so we had this Model 2. Just like this. Third tab, grab extreme liquidity, validating the Model 2. And then we broke structure back to bullish. Right here. And no, I'm not using this break of structure, okay? A break of structure back to bullish is never from the low up. A bullish break of structure is always from top to bottom, breaking back to bullish. So right here, we SFP'd it, and then eventually we broke it right here. Okay? So this was the break of structure. This was our moment of entry. Okay? Now, I opened spot positions exactly on. Let me grab it for you. I opened spot positions exactly on, what was the level? Exactly here. Boom. This is the level that I share with the community. Boom. So my spot buy was literally on this level, and then my leverage entry with low leverage, with my stop below here, was also right there, and then my leverage long position from literally just a futures perspective was like here, and then the initial target was just like this. Okay, now what price did is it came into extreme supply right there, and we left behind this beautiful demand zone, which was a double supply to demand flip. It was absolutely beautiful. So remember that entry right there on that break of structure. right here we had this local order block where your supply flipped into demand, and then in general this entire zone was supply flipping into demand. So you had a double supply to demand flip, making it an extremely juicy POI, which is where price came back for. So obviously price came back up. I did not take any profits here. I was like, no, I want to see what happens. Now we did get a reaction from it. Did not take any profits. I knew price can come back for this POI, which is exactly what it did. Okay, it was a very juicy POI. And then that way, also your Model 2 accumulation can even go over in a better Model 2 where you truly get that curving up effect, mitigating all that extreme demand before continuing higher. So right here, we got that bounce. We started moving up. Now, obviously, the moment we start to break structure right here, back to bullish, my entry right here, the invalidation is now not below here or below here. The invalidation is right here because there's no demand remaining below us and also no obvious liquidity. So then you're already almost de-risked on your position because you move your stop loss with a size from 6% to a size of 2.89. So you're risking like 0.5% at that point. Now, obviously, if we start distributing here like we did, like this massively, where you have your 1, you have your 2, and then you have your 3, did not have like the perfect requirements for a short. Stop loss obviously gets put to entry. Okay, so this stop loss was at entry, and then price came down, and it just dumped down. Now there was the chance, okay, there was the chance that we came for one more demand zone. I don't know exactly where that demand zone was. I remember it being the volume area low. Yeah, there was a chance. It was the extreme liquidity. So the extreme liquidity from the move up was right here. So there was a chance that price was gonna move back up after sweeping that low, but nah, it's somewhere else. I think it was here. Yeah, I'm mistaken. Right there. Right there. There you go. So there was a chance that we were going to come for that liquidity and then break structure back to bullish for potential higher time frame accumulation. But one, I'm extremely careful because if Doge, we were heavily short on Doge. So if Doge is going to dump, this is going to dump as well. But what happened is you needed to see a pullback, right? I remember talking about this. I was like, okay, well, you need to see a pullback. It's that simple. If you get a pullback, we can have a potential long. But we broke structure back to bullish right here. Okay? And we turned that back to bearish immediately. So you're not looking for a higher low for the higher high anymore. You broke it back to bearish. So that bullish break of structure is invalidated. Therefore, I also never said I was long on this. Never. I did not take this long. And then obviously the other trade got stopped at entry. The leverage position got de-risked when I saw this this fail and Doge dump so hard. So I was like, I'm just in spot. So my spot position, no leverage, is currently down 18%. And that's why we do spot, right? That's why we do spot. And I was starting to fill a position. So we're at a crucial point, though. We should hold this demand. We should definitely hold this demand. But that that accumulation got sent over into a distribution. And we need to look for signs of strength coming into preferably this low. Like we need to take that low right here and then sweep it back to bullish for some continuation. But as of now, it is looking a bit heavy, right? It is looking a bit heavy. Like if we start to close high time frame candles below this demand zone, then I'm out of that spot position. But I lost 0%. It's all spot. I made money actually on the leverage long. When you think is the next leg up, Lars? I'm hoping soon. I'm hoping soon. Maybe move up, mitigating some supply. Boom. I would love that. They give me an easy entry. They won't because it's harder to get facts. Did you play the new Fortnite season? No, I don't have time to game anymore, bro. Please chart anything but Caspa. Total 3 tapped into 6-hour demand and is forming a local range which have a look if you can. Total 3. Let's have a look at the total 3. We're actually coming into a potential support. It would have been better though to like open the week and tap support and higher instead of open the week and wick the high and dump down, you know? So definitely be careful. Definitely be careful. And it is getting overlap right here. It is pretty funny to see that. Look how clean that distribution at the top was. Like just in general the topping structure like that. It kind of looks like the S&P going up on the high time frame. I don't know why it reminds me of the S&P going up, but look at that like rounding off effect. Getting that beautiful 1 2 3 dump. So clean. Yeah, and this is showing signs of an accumulation. It's not clean yet. It's not confirmed yet. Also here we have the supply right there. So again, I would love to come in the supply, reject down, and then go higher. Having your 1, your 2, and your 3 right here from a Model 1 accumulation standpoint, and then continue to new all-time highs. That's literally what I would love. Yeah, that's my preferred scenario, 100%. 100% my preferred scenario. Doge also got smacked back down. We didn't even take that liquidity. That's nasty. Okay. I'm seeing a great question. Can you reflect upon the stream from BB today? So I actually tuned in for a moment, okay? I tuned in for a moment and I was like, let's see if they can convince me that we're going to go to 200k. let me grab just a random chart. Let's do the index. Let's do the index. Okay. You know what's so hard, guys? You know what's so hard? Is that obviously if you guys listened to the live stream from yesterday, you will see if you go to my profile that I drew out this. And this is not drawn from a price standpoint, more so from what I would love for price to do and how I would like it to flow. So, what I would like to happen is I like a push up higher, which is why I'm also wanting to have higher now. coming into Jan 20th, followed by some sort of a correction back down. Okay. And that's going to confirm our first high time frame, or when we push back up, putting in like a higher low, or, it could be a lower low on the low time frame, but if you zoom out, it's the first high time frame market structure pool. And I want that to then go higher, confirming our macro range. And that first push up can be 120, that first push up can be 110, can be 105, who knows? Okay. I want to run it back up then. I want a correction. Doesn't have to be a big correction. I want some sort of correction to confirm high time frame market structure. And then I want it to run it back up. I want to run it back up, deviate that high, and then have like a sell in May, walk away type of event. Doesn't have to be in May, but kind of like April, May vibes. And then that is going to get dumped down, and we run it back up one more time in the end of the year, kind of creating some sort of triple top on the high time frame. And then that's going to be the all-time high. And that could be at 140. It could be at 130. I've drawn it at 120. So, do not shoot the messenger. Okay, guys? Do not shoot the messenger. Obviously, this is not in line with some other people having 200K as an expectation. Okay? Not in line with that. But if we just measure, okay, let's put it in log. Let's give people the benefit of the doubt right now. Let's put it in log. And we simply have this high right here. We have that high right there. And we have that high right there. Okay? From that first low to the high, $731 days. Okay? From then the low to the high, this is actually the low, 1,065 days. From this low to the high, 1,066 days. So that's very similar, right? From this low to the high, let's put 1,100 days. Let's give it some extra days, okay? Because I'm benefiting the other people. You have to tell me, okay? You have to convince me, because now I'm going to go back in normal, okay? You have to convince me, looking at this chart, that in this short period of time, price has to reach 200K? That's what you have to convince me of. You have to convince me that in this short period of time, we're going to do 200K. My G, let me tell you something. Okay? Let me tell you something. Bitcoin is like a grandpa. It's like a person that's out of shape. Okay? Whenever Bitcoin has a significant push, it needs to cool off immediately. Okay? That's just the name of the game. Like, it pushes up, it gets tired, especially as it gets older as an asset class and more money is flowing in. After some aggressive pushes up, it needs to cool off. Even if you extend it, where in some magical land, okay, the cycle lasts even longer, and it lasts around 1,200 days now. You know how fast it is? Like, you know how fast you have to go up to reach 200K? Like, just look at this. I'm already extending. If we kind of keep it the same, Like, excuse me. You know how, guys, this is, you know how fast this is. You have to pull off, okay? You would have to pull off something like this. So, like, from here to here, there's no way. I just don't see that happening. Because not only do you have to convince me that the cycle is gonna last longer, which is could be a possibility, right? But it's also not following patterns. Okay. You have to convince me that we just completely disrespect any form of diminishing returns over time. Like, I understand that from peak to peak, if you compare, this 2021, there might have been some factors holding the price of Bitcoin back that are now in favor of it. Okay. So maybe this should have peaked at like 90,000 and it didn't because factors were holding it back. And we have these factors in our advantage now. Now, this peak to peak was 248%. Let's do the exact same. Okay, then you do get that price target. Nah, bro. This has to happen because you also need to create a topping structure. No? You need to create some sort of a topping structure. How long is that going to take? Because now we're just going up, right? Now we're just going up. Going up this aggressively, you're going to need a lot of money to also come back down. There is always a possibility. Okay? There's always a possibility. I'm just saying it's the less likely probability based on basic pattern recognition. Simple as that. Simple as that. This genuinely needs to happen, guys. Even if we extend it, it doesn't matter because then I'll just draw this. Even if we extend it to like a crazy long cycle, I'll just pull this. But this is what would need to happen. So in my opinion, okay, what's extremely important. Oh, got a call. What's extremely important is to pay attention to what the next leg up is going to be. I'm telling you. If you get a move up, the moment this decides to move up, and you reject aggressively from the 120 or 110, you're not going to get your price targets. You're not going to get it. If you're going to call for 200K, you better get a push up straight to 130. I'm not kidding you. You need to get it. The second leg up needs to go to 130. If you want to talk about 200K, you cannot go to 110, 120 and reject back down. It can't happen because then it's not going to happen. Okay? So if you want to confirm a bias, you need to have at least a push up aggressively to 130. Reject from there, hold as support, go higher. Okay? Otherwise, there's no way. No way. And I'll happily be proven wrong because then we all just make more money in general, right? Who doesn't want to make more money? I would love to truly believe in a 200K, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it. I'm thinking we just get people excited, making higher lows and higher highs. That's not a good drawing, but I think we're just going to make higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher high. Let's go to the 2 weekly. Higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, dump it back down. What is an interesting observation? What is an interesting observation? I think I'm seeing it right now. Is that we have been holding our previous all-time high as support. So price hasn't really gone down below its previous all-time high. Okay? We haven't gone down below the previous all-time high. Like, we ranged on this, but we kept it as support. You know, you can see that bounce right there. We kept it as support. And definitely right here also kept it as support. We didn't even come back for it. Didn't even come back for it. Now we have a crazy good-looking range demand at our all-time high because of that massive reaccumulation schematic. So, if we dump down 84% here, $82? No way. That was like 86%, 77%. If we want to hold this, let's say we hold this as support, and we want to dump 70%, where do we have to come from? Is this right? If you want to dump 70% and hold it as support, we're gonna see, guys. We're gonna see. We're gonna see it. There's gonna be a top, and we'll see it. The higher, the better. Okay, the higher, the better. An in real life friend of mine is watching you live for the first time now. He was supposed to watch and take notes on lecture. He was supposed to watch and take notes on lecture 1 right now. What is your message to him? 50 push-ups. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. What's your message to him? He's gonna watch lecture 1 that's regarding market structure. Truly, just the first time, just watch the video. Okay, watch it. Don't make notes yet. Just watch it. Then you watch it and you make notes. Then you study the notes and then you practice it. And then after you feel like you're getting the hang of it, you rewatch it. Because the first time that you watch it, everything is new information, right? Everything is new information. So like it's like an information overload. So you're gonna miss details that I'm talking or that I'm saying. So first, you find about the 6 candle rule, a wick, a break of structure, what's a good break of structure versus a bad break of structure, etc. Then you have that, you practice that, and then you're like, if you have any questions, you obviously come to me in the Discord. I answer you, all good. And then once you feel like you're getting the hang of it, rewatch it like a month later, and then or like not a month, I would say 3 weeks, and then you're gonna find these details that are even better. And like, do lecture 1, practice lecture 1, but you don't have to fully master lecture 1 before moving on to lecture 2. Especially 1 and 2, it's market structure and ranges. And you're going to run into an issue drawing market structure because you are in a range where market structure is sloppy because it's rangy price action. So you can kind of watch lecture 1 and 2 together before moving on to the third one, because that's a completely different thing. So watch 1 and 2 together, watch it, and then watch it again, taking notes, practice, rewatch it. Donnie was right. Yeah. Well, that's obviously if we hold this as support, right? Because at the same time, you can also like there's so many things to say, right? Oh, there's so many narratives and ways to look at it, because you can say, oh, right here we held it as support, right here we held it as support, but it's less, right? You can see right here we held it as support of a total percentage of 400%. Then we held it for only 143%. And then right here, we even went below it. We went below it a negative 20%. So maybe now, price can move up and we can go below it in negative 20%, because it's like diminishing returns and diminishing retracements. So going below it 20%. Will put you at right here, which will put your target at 200. We're gonna fucking see it, guys. We're gonna see. Honestly, you don't care. Like, nobody needs to care. When Wiz is saying we're gonna leave the station, then we're gonna short. Okay, then we're gonna short. That's absolutely right. Absolutely right. I'm very curious. The higher, the better. Honestly. Okay. Literally, bro. Okay, guys, shoot me with an altcoin. Will you be shorting heavy at the top? Yes, sir. $1 million position. Shoot me an altcoin. Got 20 more minutes. Dot. We're gonna do dot because you were very early with that, brother. Let's check out dot. Let's do some quality TA on this baby. Uh uh uh. Yeah, dot is one of those coins that just pumped with the entire old, Dino coins pumping. It's not particularly because dot is doing like crazy things, right? So what we're seeing here is we had this macro range. And that macro range was an accumulation here at the bottom, where price actually ended up coming back for this demand zone, validating the third tap. Just like this. But in the meantime, we also deviated our highs. So there's always the possibility it turns into a macro distribution. So we got that accumulation. And then even on the lower time frame, we had a sweep of that range low, not a proper accumulation. Only like truly one sweep right there. Kind of making it like an extreme more like an extreme liquidity sweep, right? Extreme liquidity sweep when price was compressing, liquidity being built up, and you have that release. You shoot back up. Now we came into high into definitely high time frame resistance. Right here in that pivot point, you can see that 2-day supply zone right here. Which isn't nice, but you know, it's like you come up in there, literally come up in the most extreme part of it, and you just dump back down. So obviously, you came into extreme premium pricing, meaning all the way at the top of the range high without grabbing the range high, coming into extreme supply, or in other words, the last supply remaining before price taking the range high. So it's like, I don't know, man. I think just pump with the rest of the narrative of all those dino coins pumping. But not particularly because, it's so great. Also up here, massive resistance. Massive resistance even above it as well. I mean, you can already see the aggressive reaction away from it. So I don't even know if this is going to make it above that supply zone. Resistance up there as well. It's pretty neutral, right? It's more bearish than bullish because we're in a neutral range, fighting between accumulation and distribution at the equilibrium of the range right now. So it's pretty neutral from a support POI perspective of where price could bounce. We can definitely I like this the most. Yeah. I like this the most. Right here, let's draw a fib from that expansion. Yeah. Boom. Definitely like that area the most, and otherwise, a better bounce from more like a 0.5. That's what we're currently bouncing off, yeah. Otherwise, I want to find support very locally right here. Keeping that volume area high as support as well. So either, yeah, I got the plan. We swept all this liquidity. If you want to break out on dot right now, you should have like an accumulation here, and you hold this high time frame range volume area high as support, bounce off that breaker, keep the 0.5 from the swing low to the swing high, move up higher. Okay, if you fail and you break back inside, we're gonna go to 7.2. Okay, that's dot, and then you can look for a bounce on that, but I don't know how far that bounce is going to bring you, honestly. Okay, so two key POIs right here and right here. If we hold this as support, it's decent. If we don't, it's bad. Damn. You guys have a lot of recommendations. I'm seeing PopCat multiple times. I'm seeing PopCat multiple times. I'm seeing Chart the Frog. You guys mean Pepe then, obviously, no? I'm seeing Mog. Okay, let's do Popcat first. Okay. Definitely high time frame block. And I'm approaching it more from a swing perspective, going from high time frame to low time frame. Let's check that block. I like it actually more like this. It's even part of a flip. I like that a lot. Just like this, more refined demand in there. Yeah. Okay. Definitely like that level if we ever come there. That would be that would be right here, 0.8085. Obviously that is still a bit below, and we can also bounce from our current position. I think I actually had a level here from a while back. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, so we're currently also at support. So it truly depends what we're gonna do here. We were coming up like we were definitely showing signs of exhaustion here, okay? Because like if you look at this, like price is barely even making higher highs. Like you have a wick followed by a wick followed by another wick, reversal back down, you push back up, you have a fake break of structure above it, and then you have another wick. Like, come on now, guys. This is obviously showing signs of an exhaustion. You can't even make proper higher highs. Okay, you're wicking your high, you're building up liquidity at the lows, and you dump back down. You just didn't fully fulfill the purpose of the move down because you didn't sweep all the liquidity lows. You just swept some. So we wicked the high, wicked the high, wicked the high, liquidated some people, moved back up, and then that was actually your final distribution. So you kind of had like a four tap here, four tap showing signs of exhaustion, liquidating all these people, and then you went over into your new range right here, and that was actually a proper TCT Model 1 distribution where that was your range high to your range low, boom, and you had your one, you had your two, you had your three, absolutely textbook. Damn, this was textbook. Someone should have sent this to me. And right here, amazing liquidity curve, and now we're reversing back down. So it's truly a question of like, can we find the support right here? Was this already enough? Okay, was this move down enough? We left some supply above. Can we immediately, go up, go down, and make this some sort of an accumulation? Or do we truly need also exhaustion at the bottom and then we reaccumulate, So we are at support right now. You know, if you want, if you have conviction in Popcat and you want to start DCAing into a position, obviously these are the places to start DCAing into one. And we are still in the range deviation category. Definitely no worry about that one. Right here. But it's not that the chart is looking bullish right now. You just came into support, but we came down very aggressively into support. Okay, so we're gonna see, maybe this can turn into like a new range that's gonna take some time, develop into a nice accumulation, and then we can trade that going forward. If we start losing that, 0.8085 is another great spot to DCA back in. Currently, no local entries. The range itself is also not beautiful. And the reason why the range is not good is because you have a move up, you have a move down. Where is the sideways price action? A range is sideways price action. Okay? So that's currently all that I have. From a resistance standpoint, though, let's not forget a resistance standpoint. We had a massive distribution that left behind supply. Yeah. That's this supply zone. Yeah. So that's definitely resistance. I cannot make more out of that chart. Support here. This is support 1. That's support 2. Needs to show signs of a reversal here. One more. One more. Scrolling through the suggestions. Okay. The next one. Okay. I'm gonna close my eyes. The next ticker that I see, the first one that I see that pops up is gonna be it. The first one. Which one's gonna pop up right now first for me? Toby. And now I'm seeing Pepe. Or is there a delay? I don't even know. But Toby is dead, bro. Toby, I haven't seen Toby in a minute. Like what's Toby doing? It's a 1.4 million. Like I cannot chart this, brother. Like I cannot chart this. There's truly, brother, there's nothing for me to chart here. Okay. I've seen Tia a lot of times. Let's do Tia. Oh. Oh, would you look at that? Well, let's check it out. Look at that topping structure, damn. Look how you opened this week, though. Look how you opened this week. See how there's no, and I'm telling you some juicy stuff. See how this, normally when you open and you immediately dump down, not having a wick towards the upside, that's bullish. Because if you look at all these candles here, they have a wick on each side of the candle. This one doesn't have a wick in the upper section. So, you know, to fix that, price would have to come here above weekly open and then put in that high. So we have no wick towards the upside, which is more bullish than bearish actually. Can make for a nice recovery. But yeah, regarding TIA, we talked about the Model 1 accumulation schematic going over into a Model 2 right here. Boom. There you go. And then you got that. You hit the target, the technical target, kind of had its own little distribution going on, and then you came into market maker demand. Like I can trade this on the weekly time frame alone, right? Very clean. Now let's check. It just front ran that. It literally just front ran the resistance. Like actually like to perfection. Them. Yeah, so we had an accumulation model. We hit the target of the accumulation model, the technical target came up, kind of turned it into a distribution, but I have to say it's not really it wasn't really a clean one because you kind of had a one tap and you had a two tap. That's it. You had some sketchy price action prior, but if this went a bit higher, you had your model one, okay? But it didn't. So no model. Um and then price came into this refined zone. Right? Price came into this refined zone. Keep it like this. Look at that overlap. Boom. Perfect demand bounce. And now it's fighting, right? It's truly like, what are we going to do? I couldn't tell you right now what we were going to do because on the way down, we created, also supply above because we had such an aggressive push down. So in order for me to long this, we would have to have some sort of an accumulation in here. Otherwise I cannot make anything out of it. Yeah. Just missed that short POI day. That's funny. That's funny. Okay. But that's all I have for you, man. That's all I got for you. Okay. Check the chat. One more cuz I someone said check out XRP versus Bitcoin and I got that message yesterday as well. So now it's sparking my interest. XRP against Bitcoin. Am I doing the right thing? Oh yeah. And what's so special about this chart? I don't have anything special to comment about this chart. Like, we had a massive spike up. Like, XRP definitely outperformed Bitcoin here, which is obvious with the performance of XRP. But you can kind of say we came into this resistance zone, right? Like, we have spiked in this how many times? Spiked in this many times. Okay, last one is on though, because I wanted to chart that either way, so I'm just gonna do it with you guys. Oh damn, what's the last TA that I had here? That's old TA. Never came back for that low. Okay. Let's check it out. Yeah, so this was a nice continuation, which is what you got. Like, you could have looked for a long in there, you know? So that closes, this candle closes right here, right? This candle closes right here, price comes down, look for the long, you squeeze back up. And whenever you can overlap that with low time frame demand here, probably some low time frame demand. Now just front run that actually. Just front run that. Kind of had a distribution I went over. Swept the liquidity. And we had to dump back down in this. Oh yeah, that's wow. That's the easiest POI to long. It's building nice liquidity above. That's a strong performance. 100%. That's a strong performance. Where is this? $1.618. Mm, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely holding up very nice. Got a massive reaction away from that sell to buy, leaving that inefficiency, filling it. I think this is like, what is this? 20? 30% away. 30% push away from it. Back test right now into some demand. We're building nice liquidity highs. We do have one supply zone here. Definitely be aware of that supply zone. And then that's it. Once you can, if you can surpass this supply, we're definitely going to move up towards this high. Currently we are at some resistance from this local downtrend that's making lower highs and lower lows. So it could come down if we decide to break it. We could come up to here, and then we have to see what's going to happen. Maybe we form a new range. It's truly a bit up to Bitcoin as well. Okay, so guys, on though, you just said it. Let's go. Okay, guys, we've been going for an hour and a half. I'm gonna head to the gym. I need some more time compared to last time. I appreciate all of you. Remember, guys, study the people that you follow. Okay, just because they have a lot of followers does not equal that they are good. It equals that they are good at getting engagement, which is most likely by farming. Okay, so if you want to learn how to trade, you can visit my YouTube channel. I have a free mentorship on there, the TCT mentorship. It's so valuable. Love people. Everyone that has watched it loves it. Okay, right here, all these lectures about market structure, supply and demand, liquidity, TCT schematics, everything you need to know to succeed in trading. Okay. And then if you like my style of teaching and if you like my way of trading, you can join the TCT trading community on the TCT website, which is in the link of this current video and in the link here as well. Okay. Appreciate all of you guys, and I'll see all of you Friday. Peace out.